Hello, dear ones. I'm in the pink today. Not really, actually, 'cause I'm feeling pretty awful, but I have the full moon tomorrow in Libra Aries. I'm on a very delicate place in my birth chart, and I'm feeling pretty wiped out. But I thought I've got to do this video because of my thoughts at the moment. I need to share them. I've got no one else to talk to, and it's good to get things out. I find sometimes if you feel really bad, do something spiritual. It clears it out. I don't know. Anyway, I've just been sitting in my bedroom looking out into my back garden. There's a cherry tree in the far distance and it's waving about in the wind. And I thought, I wish I could do that. Just wave about, not kind of get so intense and so frustrated and so this and so that and demanding and want and that. You don't know how I am. I'm difficult. So I thought I could be like that tree. Just blow and bend and it's a fantastic tree. It's got a very small trunk and God is a fantastic mechanic, engineer. The weight it must be carrying, and I'm sure its roots must come right up to my bungalow. So even when I'm sleeping at night, I'm lying on the roots of my tree, which is lovely, isn't it? And I often chat to it at 2 o'clock in the morning when nobody else is about. I've told you that story. But I was just sitting there sort of looking out into space and looking at this tree blowing about, and I suddenly went back in my memory to a place called Tetbury in Wiltshire. It's one of my home was Bristol for a very long time. My daughter and I lived there with my dad and stuff, and I moved up to this area. I have got roots in this area, but nothing special really. So I was just musing about this place in Wiltshire, and we had such lovely times there. And of course, I shed tears and memories and all that, But it's a place there called the Arboretum, which is a huge acreage of trees. Some of them very, very ancient, some of them foreign that shouldn't be in this country. It was built by a man many years ago, hundreds of years ago, who envisaged it being an acreage of some of the eight maples, the maples, that's right, of course they seeded the maples at this time of year. That's what I'm missing. The colours are fantastic, and it's a good day out. Well, it's a bit expensive to go around these days, but it's a good day out. The trees, and there's a coffee place there, and the spun of the vegetation, the trees, the grass, the mud, the dogs. It's a real full life day, and I miss that because where I live here, there's no life at all hardly. I feel half dead, to be honest. It's a very small village, well, no, town, and it's not my sort of area at all. But anyway, I'm going back in my memory to this place called Tetbury. It's actually the home of Prince Charles, but it's a fantastic place, and tea shops abound. And my daughter used to often spend an afternoon going around the tea shops, pikelets, crumpets, whatever you call them, and tea, warm ourselves up, could leave our boots outside because they were very muddy. Magical times really, and I do miss it dreadfully. But anyway, one particular time that I just thought of, and why it sprang to my mind, I don't know. It was when I was standing against the tree, just leaning against the tree, just watching people go by, and there was this man in a wheelchair. His lady friend was pushing him. I suppose she was in her 40s or so, and they were chatting, and I noticed he had his feet just off the ground, just a few inches. He was holding his feet. Obviously, he wanted to be connected to the earth. Isn't that sweet? He didn't have them on the ground, obviously, because the wheelchair was being pushed along, but he had them just above the ground. And as he passed me, he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I kind of knew him. It was a split second because they were obviously moving past. And I've often thought about that, and it came to me just now. Isn't that weird? Watching this tree blowing about, obviously my mind went back to the Arboretum, which is a very happy time, which I need to remember at the moment. And the trees and the days are full of life, and this man in his wheelchair, and I think he was a spiritual master. And I've noticed that before because I do deal with the masters, you might know. I work with them, for them, whatever. And they do recognise me, and they sort of look at me, the energy they recognise really. And I've got a master called Maharaji, you may know him. He's fantastic, fantastico. He's an Indian bull, but he lives in, I think, California, and he talks all over the world. And about 30, 40 years ago, when I took knowledge, which is a sort of special kind of meditation, a gift from him, puts you in touch with your higher self, I think. And we used to file past. Well, they don't do that nowadays, but he used to sit up in his chair, and he had so many pairs of socks on because people like to kiss his feet. into that sort of thing, but as I passed him, he looked at me, and you know, I can still see his brown eyes now. I mean, I can still see them. They were like boundless space, boundless, cosmic. Just look. And I almost passed out. It was so powerful. And if I get really, really down, I think of his eyes. I think eyes are very important, are they? The windows of the soul. And he's still with me, of course. He's with lots of us, you know, thousands, millions of people, especially in India, millions of people. I've talked about him before. But anyway, so this being in the wheelchair just came to mind as though it was yesterday. I mean, time. I think I've talked about time before. I'm absolutely amazed, really amazed that we're told there's no such thing as time, but I'm thinking, where is that stored, that memory? I mean, it's a good 40 years ago, more than that probably, because my daughter was still quite young then. And so, but I think I was on my own that time. But it came to my mind, I thought, well, where all these memories are stored? And as I was thinking that, I suddenly obviously it's quite an important time, well, for a lot of us, but for me, I feel I've been through so much. Could write 2 or 3 books that I've come to the end. The full moon is usually a completion of something. It's the ending of a cycle. Completion, especially in Aries, is very powerful. So my mind suddenly travelled. Well, it didn't travel. I was just aware that all would have gone before. I mean, I'm not sure how many lifetimes, but this one in particular, I could see a river. It was like flowing. There's a song, I think, isn't there? River it is flowing, flowing, flowing. The river it is flowing down to the sea. And it's called the River of Life. Maraji talks about the river, the water. The water flows past the boulders of rigid thinking. I think that's what he means. And it slowly wears it down. Slowly wears it down. So this fast flowing river, all my experiences were in it. All the people I've met and the experiences and you know, some of these films on television when people are dying and they have these visitations from everyone they've known round the bed. It was a bit like that. Only they weren't people. They were thoughts, experiences flowing so fast in this river. I thought, wow, that is. Well, you can't hold on to that. You have to let that go. And I thought, thank goodness for that. It's gone somewhere else apart from in my energy field, whatever you call it. So it was really quite, I don't know, these other moments for me, well, for anyone I suppose, they're very powerful, aren't they? They put you in touch with something else apart from yourself. And I've been asking for something magical. I love magical things, things that are unexpected or, you know, surprises, miracles, that sort of thing. I thought I could do with something magical today. I felt so terribly down with everything because, you know, like the saga of my daughter, which I won't go into now. And then I also went through revelation yesterday for loss of a man friend I had many years ago. I didn't even know it was still there. It was obviously lodged at somewhere very, very deep. I think this is the trouble, you know. People say let go. It's not easy to let go. It's not. When you know somebody for 50 odd years, like my daughter, or this man friend, it was a karmic soulmate for many, many lifetimes. You can't just let them go. And I've been asking God about this. I'm saying, look, how do I let go of my daughter? I must stop thinking about her, worried about what she says and what she doesn't say, and just really let go of it. But I just can't seem to do it, and I don't know why. Anyway, the other day, I know it sounds, well, no, it doesn't sound silly. I'm sure this is me. I think it was God came and said to me, I said, can you help to let go of this energy pattern? I don't find that cutting cords has helped. Nothing's helped. I've done everything. And the answer was, I have to let go of the memories, the good memories even, the service you've given to this child, you know, mothers do, and I know we're supposed to, but I think I'm hanging on to the time at Tetbury, for instance, tease out the good things, good little things. I have to somehow let go of that, and it's very, very hard because they are good times. But he said, I have to ask your permission. So I thought, well, there's nothing else left for me to do. She's not here. She's so other side of the world. We don't see each other. We don't write to each other. Da, da, da. What is there left to really hang on to and to look forward to? There isn't. She doesn't want it, and she's gone her own way, and I have to accept it. So I said, yes, please, will you please help me? And I did feel at that point that there was nothing left to actually resolve or think about. And of course, I still do think about it, but the emotional intensity has gone. So this memory today of the arboretum, where we used to spend times having tea and chats and lovely, lovely times. She was at university then, and she changed. Something happened at university to change her, and I think it was the studies of mindfulness. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. I think a lot of people are screwed up because of it. But I'm not saying she is. I'm just saying that's one thing I've considered. Am I rabbiting on? What time is it? Gosh, yes, I'm rabbiting. Anyway, dears, I hope you enjoyed my little chat today. The river of life. But take care, God bless, and I hope the full moon gives you lots of energy and fire. Depends what you're dealing with, of course. But it does pass. I think it's full moon tomorrow. Then we've got 2 or 3 days to sort of work it out. Take care, dear ones. God bless.